Hey everybody, I just wanted to get on here today to talk a little bit about how you can not let other people's doubts and fears influence you on your path. So, no, as you're going about this world and you're traversing this life and you're, doing your practices and doing the things that you really believe that you should be doing and know that you should be doing, you have to understand that there's going to be those people that come in that try to put their doubts and their fears on you on your path. They're going to come in and let's say you're really working hard toward, building up your self-confidence. And then they're going to come in and, say things like, oh, well, in order to build your self-confidence, say you need to be doing this because what you're doing isn't, going to be able to get you where you're going. It's not going to be the effective way to do it. And while you can listen to that and see if it resonates with you, but you have to be able to understand that, them telling you that might just be them putting some of their fears, some of their programmings off on you. There's a lot of times where people will come in and say something negative or say something that, makes you really doubt what you are doing when before they said that, you're really confident in what you were doing. Say you were feeling it, you were resonating with it, you were vibrating on the frequency that you knew that you were supposed to be vibrating on. But then when that person came in and said that, it changed all that information. It changed all that energy that you had built up. It basically put a dam, it put a blockage, on your energy. It put a blockage on what you were doing because now there's that obstacle in your path. Something that you're going to have to either break down, go around, jump over, whatever you're going to have to do now at this point. Because, there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be doing everything that you should be doing, and really feeling the energy and really doing, what you feel is right. Doing what you feel is your purpose and going along and actually doing the things that you need to do in this world in order to achieve all the goals and dreams that you have. And then somebody's going to come along and start putting in a lot of doubts, putting in a lot of fears that you didn't even have before. Now, these doubts and fears that they're having, I'm not saying that they're not valid doubts and fears, but you have to be able to understand, are those doubts and fears valid for you? Are they applicable to your situation right now? Because a lot of times, when people try to give you certain advice on what you're doing in your life at that point in time, they're putting some of those fears and programmings that they are understanding on you. And those fears and those programming that they're dealing with, you're not dealing with those fears. You're not dealing with that programming. So you're on a different frequency. You're on a different vibration. You're dealing with a totally different type of energy. Now, you both can have the same goal. You both can have the same vision of what you want to do. But because of the programming, because of the doubts, the fears that they have, the path that they're going down is going to be different from the path that you're going down. Now, you might have different doubts and fears and programmings that you have to get through in order to understand this as well. But you have to understand that you have to be able to differentiate, what is theirs and what is yours. Now, I'm not saying don't take their advice. Don't listen to them. And it's not really like taking their advice. It's just listening to them and then seeing what doubts and fears that they have and see, do those even apply to you? Are those even something that, resonates with what's going on in your life and your experiences? Is this something that, is actually going to, help you understand more of how to get through your doubts and fears of whatever you're having at the time? Because a lot of times, it doesn't. All it does is bring a distraction. All it does is put that hindrance, and it's not going to stop you, but it's going to slow you down, from being able to achieve what you're doing. It's going to slow that momentum down. It's like water running down a mountain. The stream is flowing really, really fast. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in and starts setting up a dam. In order to direct where the water is flowing. You didn't have that there before. Somebody else came in and now built that structure there. They came in and put that there when you were doing just fine. You were going the way that you were supposed to go beforehand. So you have to understand that, hey, these things happen. This is just something that's going to happen on your journey. There's always going to be people that's going to say, different doubts and fears and try to put that on you. But at the same time, you can't be afraid of that happening. You can't be afraid of, what people are saying to the point where you're going to block them out. You have to understand where they're coming from. Understand, that there's multiple perspectives on this world. There's multiple programming and different things that people go through. So just because it's not true for you doesn't mean it's not true for them. So you can't just tell them that they're wrong. you have to be like, well, that doesn't apply to me. And even when you say that, you have to be like, I'm not saying that this is not a valid thing that's happening, because it's a valid thing that's happening in their reality, but it's not a valid thing that's happening in your reality. And however you want to convey that to the other person, or maybe you don't even want to convey that to the other person. You just want to, keep it pushing and keep going on. You just have to understand that, these things are going to happen. And you can't be afraid of somebody coming in and telling you, oh, this isn't going to happen, or putting the doubts in there for you, because that's going to happen. People are going to do that because, maybe they want that energy that you have. Maybe they're jealous of that energy that you have. Or maybe, they just are, the energy and frequency that they're on is a conflicting energy and frequency that you are on. So, there's going to be crashes. There's going to be these different conflicts that you have with this person or these beings or these people or whatever it is. So you just have to be able to keep going forward and understand that, in that moment when these things are happening, don't let it affect your energy. Don't let it affect where you're going. Don't let it affect what you are trying to do in this life, because, you are doing what you need to be doing. And if you know that you're doing what you need to be doing, then these doubts, these fears that people are putting on you, are not valid, at least for you in that moment in time. So take that, understand that, hey, take it as a learning experience, that these are some of the doubts. These are some of the fears that can pop along, on the path that you are going, so that you are aware. You can see exactly what's happening, and what you can do in order to stop this from happening. You know what you need to do in order to make these changes in your life. So just take some time and really think about, what doubts and fears and programmings that you have on you. Are they coming from you? Are they coming from somebody else? Are they coming from the environment? Are they coming from, television? Are they coming from, wherever it's coming from? Or is it coming from within you? What can you do to work on it? How can you remove those programmings? How can you remove, the stuff that isn't coming from you, and then work on the stuff that's on your own? Now, if you need some help with that, you can always hit me up on my website, tenaciousspiritualconsulting.com. Tenacious Spiritual Wellness is always there. And, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you out. If you want to get a one-on-one session, that's for us to, dive in to talk about things, spiritual aspects, programming, different tips and advice that you can do in order to, really in order to change your perspective so that you can flow out here. Also do higher self sessions to where if you really want to dive deep and you want to understand some things, that your higher self is trying to tell you, your higher self, is trying to give you that advice, but maybe, you're so deep in it right now that you just can't hear it. Or maybe you just need some extra guidance. You need some extra perspective, from your higher self. We can do that. We could actually, dive in and talk about that and let you understand where you're coming from it from your higher self's perspective. This isn't from my perspective. Now, I can give that to you if you would like, but this is from your higher self. The one-on-one sessions, these are your spirit guides. This is also from my experience of what happens, in the system that I've been through to help you through these things. So if you're feeling like you need that little extra push, you need a little bit of extra guidance, you need a little bit, different perspective on some things, definitely check out my bio. The link is in the bio for my website, and hit me up because we could talk about that. But as far as these fears and doubts that people put on you, you have to understand that this is a part of life. This is a part of any journey that you're going to be on, whether or not it's metaphysical or physical, whether or not, it's only in your mental, whether or not it's only in the spiritual plane, whether or not it's only in this physical, there's always going to be fears and doubts that come along. There's always going to be these obstacles that come along, and you have to be able to differentiate where they're coming from and then come up with solutions in order to, basically, change your perspective to push through it and get to where you're going. So take some time and really think about it, and hey, you might find something out.